We are not going to roll over and take this bullshit anymore. You brought these people into these halls under false pretenses. You caged them in. You fenced them in because you thought you could get away with it. Well, this year we have shown that that is not true.
COVID's quite bad in Manchester.
We were the hotspot in the UK for a little while.
You're paying £9,000 to sit on Zoom.
A student-led organisation has sprung up. They are demanding we get a partial refund.
Basically everybody that I know has either isolated or had COVID at some point, including myself and my household.
I'd lost my taste and my smell. Everyone was using me as like a guinea pig, making me do like shots of vinegar.
A few of the accommodation buildings have been on complete lockdown. You can always tell because if you look outside the building, you can see all the post-it note messages and then they'll say if someone has COVID.
Most of my close friends have had it, and the chances are that I've probably had it and I just wouldn't know because I haven't had symptoms or access to a test.
I don't really know anyone who hasn't had coronavirus.
Yeah, I witnessed my boy get COVID. It's not Gucci, he made it out. I made it out. Yeah. Have you witnessed any parties?
Oh yeah, so parties. Might have been to a few. Everyone's doing it. But like, what do you expect when the clubs and pubs are shut? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to sit in my room all day, am I, at night?
The big party that made the whole spread and lockdown go serious around Fallowfield sides. A lot of people got COVID.
The craziest story I heard was about the Bailey accommodation hall. There was a massive party of like a few hundred people and it got shut down, and a few days after that's when they put in the lockdown for everyone in there. And it's mad because they're basically imprisoning people.
Students woke up a few weeks ago and looked out the window and they saw these huge metal fences being put around the campus.
People in halls of residence were being fenced in. I thought that was pretty crazy.
The uni didn't think to mention they were going to do that.
It later turned out that they would try to create some sort of social distancing system.
The student population were not happy about that, and they made that very clear.
Some students were so angry that they actually started pulling down the fences. And what started off as a peaceful protest ended as a riot.
Personally, I'm here for it. Like, I'm a protester myself. University of Manchester students are really sticking up for like their own rights. They're being locked up like animals.
Record this.
But obviously there was a black student the other day racially profiled by the security of the University of Manchester.
Harassed by these man.
The news tried to paint it as an anti-lockdown protest, but that wasn't what it was. It was more a general protest about the lack of mental health support from the uni, how much academic pressure there is, charging us full tuition, even though I go to uni maybe once every 3 weeks.
All my classes are still online anyway, even though they said they can stay open. So it's just kind of pointless, this whole charade.
I think that they should definitely be refunding some tuition fees for this semester.
It sucks, like it really sucks, especially for international students. They have to pay £24,000 a year, I believe. That's insane.
Still not liking this whole university at home thing. You don't have your teacher there. It's not the same as going to uni.
Overall, I'm not seeing much that the uni can do, but I just think we shouldn't be paying this much for what we're getting, do you know what I mean?
We're not getting our money's worth in terms of teaching.
The university have made a series of catastrophic decisions that have created a lot of mistrust between the students and the university.
Pretty much everyone I know suffering with a mental health condition at uni doesn't really get any support for it.
We're locking the students down in their accommodation, which I add, it's quite barbaric if you ask me.
A few months ago, a student committed suicide because the mental health support was so poor.
I think you can put it down to him being inside, being locked up, stressed and everything like that, and he's killed himself. All of this that's going on with the University of Manchester and their treatment of students is very detrimental to people's mental health.
It's only now that they've suddenly tried to put in more adequate mental health support. It's just a shame that this incident had to happen.
I'm in a flat with 3 other people. They're nice, but they're not really like my type of person that I'd hang out with really. One's quite like discriminating against people like me, so it's a bit tough. I'm a bit worried about mental health and things if this carries on.
On balance, the pandemic's been quite bad in terms of anxiety. I'm nervous about the government blaming students. I think it's quite hard to go about your day as normal when you're constantly being told that like you're killing people's grandmas.
My flatmate studies nursing on a ward and she was with really vulnerable people, so we made the decision to be really strict with locking down, which I really struggled with. I didn't even see like a point of getting out of bed because I could attend my lectures in bed and then the rest of my day all I had really to do was study.
So some of our students were so cross about this that we decided that the only way to get the university to start to reverse the damage it's done and make better decisions was to organise a rent strike, whereby we'd cancel our standing orders for the rent due for that term. We would withhold hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions of pounds from the university. Unfortunately, the university did not seem to budge from their position, and we decided further action was needed. Myself and other students decided the best course of action was to do an occupation. One of the most famous buildings in the university is the Owens Park Tower. So Thursday 2 weeks ago, we went in through the back door, barricaded the front doors and the exits. We put our legal notices on the side and we said, we're not going to leave here until you meet our demands. Your students have got to the point where they're so frustrated with your lack of action that they've decided they'd rather live in this derelict building rather than continue to live in the halls they're paying for. As I speak to you now, we are in negotiations with the university. The plan is that they will reduce the rent that we will have to pay for this first semester. Whether we might have to go on rent strike again for the second semester all depends on the way they treat us next year.
So I got home about 2 days ago.
I just want to try and forget what's happening and just have a semblance of a normal Christmas.
There's good and bad. We did have fun. We really tried to make the best of it. But I think when you're actually in it, it's quite difficult to see the good parts.
I've moved back home for the time being because I just could not be arsed with being stuck in a flat with people that I don't even get on with. I just don't want to jeopardise my own mental health.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of good about being back home. The Christmas spirit isn't really here right now. For uni students like this, Christmas is in the bin. COVID took a lot of people's money, like a lot of students' money, so they're spending Christmas broke.
In Manchester, we've already won the largest rent reduction for any student rent strike in the UK. But next year, we are going to go ahead with the largest rent strike in 40 years of student activism, as we want a 30% rent reduction for the rest of the semester until the university do two things. They first have to show a significant improvement in the services that they let us down so badly this term, and secondly, they have to open the campus facilities that we were promised and which we actually do technically pay for. 2021, we're going to make sure that we win this fight, and we will not back down until we have.
Obviously no one enjoys a pandemic, but I think it is a really rough time to be a student at the moment. But I'm really looking forward to next semester, and I'm going to keep trying to make the best of it.
We'll see what happens next year, and who knows, maybe they won't charge us full fees for a year of Zoom lectures, but realistically they probably will.